welcome to Community Conversations. I'm Frederick County Executive Jan Gardner. Joining me today is John Fiesler, who's the Executive Director of the Frederick County Tourism Council. Welcome, John.
Thanks, Executive Gardner. I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, I'm really excited to have you here today because you were recently honored as the Tourism Person of the Year in Maryland. So what does that involve, and how did you come to know about this honor?
Well, it was a very nice surprise. I didn't know I had been nominated for it, and it was actually an awards program at the annual Tourism Summit where I was one of the MCs.
Okay.
So I was standing on stage wondering if it was me they were talking about, which is an interesting experience, but quite an honor. And you know, my first thought was honestly just how blessed I am to be able to promote this community. There are so many great things going on from one end to the other, and the great stakeholders that we have really make it a joy to do this job.
Well, you do a great job for Frederick County, and certainly we're all very proud of you to be the Person of the Year. And I do think it must have been quite as strange as they talk about the person they're about to introduce. You think, that seems like me. So a good surprise for you.
It was.
So give us, our viewers, a little bit of overview about what the Tourism Council does and, you know, just what you do day to day to promote Frederick County.
Sure. 2016 will actually mark 40 years since tourism spun off of the Chamber of Commerce here with the idea that there ought to be a separate organization focused just on bringing visitors, or more specifically visitor dollars, into Frederick County. And we do that through three main avenues: destination marketing, promoting the county. Originally it was just, you know, putting out press releases and the like, and then as our budget grew, being able to do paid advertising, different efforts like that. Of course, that world keeps changing, but the basics remain the same. You know, find out why people like your product and tell more people, or fish where the fish are biting. Then we do group tour promotion as well, the motor coach industry, bringing folks in bulk, if you will.
And that stayed pretty steady over time, hasn't it?
It has. You know, that industry's been watching to see whether baby boomers will behave like their parents. There have been some changes, but they've been responding to it. And, you know, thankfully with our, I still call it new visitor center, it's over 4 years old now, it's a lot easier for us to bring a motor coach in and let a group of folks begin their visit there. So destination marketing, product development, working with, you know, different partners to put together trails or brochures or packages, whatever it might be, being the catalyst for creating something like that. And then the very obvious visitor services, the visitor center, the visitor guide, the website, those kinds of things we do.
So if somebody comes into the visitor center, what should they expect? What will they be able to see? Because, you know, probably a lot of visitors from out of the county have come into the visitor center, but some Frederick County residents probably haven't. And I think it's always interesting that sometimes we don't take advantage of the great places and sites there are to visit in our own community. So what would they learn and what would they benefit from coming into the visitor center?
Well, very often we'll get local residents when they come in with out-of-town guests.
Okay.
And that'll be their first reason for visiting. Or they come in to buy one of the Downtown Frederick gift cards. We get an awful lot of local folks that will come in and then they look around and see what's there. And then when they do have out-of-town guests, they bring them in. When the decision was made to extend East Street to a new interchange on 70, and we were looking at whether it made sense to continue to operate a visitor information center, because that debate has happened around the country in the age of the internet and GPS devices and all that. And we felt that there still was real value to that kind of center. It couldn't just be brochures and a desk anymore. And so folks come in, they'll see exhibits that we've added, more three-dimensional things that, you know, beyond the experience you would get on a screen on your phone, for instance, as well as the theater that has a multi-screen film that just shows continuously, gives people a quick overview in little 2-minute segments about different topics to whet their appetite. Our goal, of course, is to want them to leave our building and go other places in the county.
Go see those things. So can you tell us a little bit about, you know, tourism is really part of economic development. It's really brings in a lot of dollars. Can you share a little bit about just what that economic impact is?
Well, there's always a delay in getting those numbers to come out, and so the 2014 data only just became available, and I'm happy to say that for the first time we passed the point where average daily visitor spending in Frederick County passed $1 million a day.
Wow.
So $380.5 million spent in 2014 by people who live at least 50 miles away. not even including some of our closest neighbors who we
Right.
know are some of the richest counties in the country and come here all the time. But the standard for that report is 50 miles or more. So that's certainly very significant. Over the last 5 years, we've seen about a 32% increase in that spending.
Wow, that's a lot. I think that would surprise most of our viewers about how much money comes from tourism. Now, you're very involved in the community and you have a lot of community partners, businesses, and organizations. Can you speak a little bit about who you partner with in Frederick County?
Sure. It's one of the reasons I feel really blessed to be in this community where we are large enough that there is a lot going on, but small enough that we know our colleagues
We
in
do.
the economic development offices in the county, in the city, the Chamber of Commerce, the Downtown Frederick Partnership, the other Main Street organizations throughout the county, the parks and different attractions, of course, hotels and shops and restaurants. We're really blessed that, as I said, everybody's busy enough that there aren't turf issues here. I think we collaborate very well. The Downtown Hotel and Conference Center is a great example of that. We're working with your economic development folks, the city, of course, the Downtown Frederick Partnership, East Frederick Rising, Earl Robbins, who's our volunteer committee chair, all those stakeholders to try to bring together this project that the Chamber of Commerce's major employers identified as their number one priority.
And what do you think that Downtown Hotel Conference Center will mean for the tourism industry?
It'll be a game changer for us. As we look at the future of the meetings industry, and certainly the folks that are involved in conferences, conventions, and the like have been carefully looking to see whether millennials will behave like the generations before them. We're within a few years of millennials overtaking baby boomers as the dominant segment of the workforce. So the questions have been asked, will they continue to join associations? Will they continue to meet at conferences face to face? And the answer seems to be a resounding yes. But when they look at a meeting venue, they don't look at four walls of a single building anymore. They look at the whole community. What
Right.
can they walk out the door and do? Downtown Frederick is ideally situated for that. Likewise, we see, regularly at the Visitor Center, we're asked about downtown lodging. We, of course, talk about our great B&Bs, but they're limited in number, and often there's no availability. And so it'll be great to have that. And on top of it, bringing in a full-service Marriott gives us another market segment that we don't have today. Nationally, it's called upper upscale. There's luxury, upper upscale, down to mid-scale. And we have tour groups, for instance, that won't stay in Frederick because of that. Or we have performers at the Weinberg Center that won't stay in Frederick County because they're looking for that segment of the hotel market that we don't have today. So we're very excited about it.
Okay. Well, I think it will be transformational to downtown. It will help all of the redevelopment on the east side of the city of Frederick. And I do know a lot of people ask where they can stay overnight downtown. We have a lot of great events that are really focused on our downtown Frederick urban core. And people want to be able to walk to them, go out to dinner, take in whatever sights and sounds they have planned for the day and stay downtown. So I do think it will be very popular, and I do think there is a demand for that service. So we'll see that progress hopefully over the upcoming year and come to fruition for the city of Frederick and for the entire Frederick County community. So if people want to get more information about things to do, a visitor's guide, or to watch any of tourism's videos that you have, how can they get in contact with tourism?
Well, visitfrederick.org is our website, and more we just brand ourselves as Visit Frederick when we run ads and the like. That's what it'll say. So visitfrederick.org. You'll find lots of information there, links to some of the videos. We're doing more and more with short little video clips. Of course, stop in and see us at the Frederick Visitor Center. We're open 7 days a week, 9 to 5:30, 361 days a year. So we'll be closed on Christmas and New Year's, Easter, and Thanksgiving, but that's it. And talk to any of the great hosts that work there. They are very knowledgeable. They, I think, exceed the experience you get online in that they can very quickly ask you a few questions and help you efficiently plan a trip. Of course, pick up the visitor guide. You'll find it at the Visitor Center or lots of locations around the county, or give us a call. The 800 number is 800-999-3613.
Okay, well, I think you've done a great job with tourism. I think marketing Frederick County has been very successful over the years. I think the Tourism Visitor Center is beautiful. And so I encourage people to come find out what's happening in their own community and to recognize how important tourism is to our economy. And, you know, people in Frederick have told us over and over and over again that they value their history. And I love the tagline that the Tourism Council has, which is hip and historic, because I think we're a fun place to visit, and we certainly value all those historic cultural amenities that we have in our community. So I think we have it all. I think we're very blessed to be able to market what we have in Frederick County. So congratulations on being named the Person of the Year from Maryland Tourism, and thank you for all you do to promote Frederick County. So thank you for joining us. I hope you learned a little bit about tourism in Frederick County. There's certainly a lot to do in our community, so take advantage of it because you live here. Welcome other people to our community. When you have visitors from out of town, stop into the visitor center and put together a great day or a great couple of days for the people that are visiting you to tour the highlights and the sights in Frederick County. Thank you for joining us.